Okay.
No, it's gonna go. Wait.
Yeah, now it started, bro.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah, now it's now it's
Yep.
Wait, bro. We hear too much. Let me close off the Zoom really quick, but I think we're live.
Yeah. Okay.
Joel.
Welcome everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I don't hear Joel at all. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, bro. Then should I close the Zoom or what? Cause
Yeah. Go
okay.
ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, bro. Thank you. I think it works. Bu Russian ne ama bu bro böyle ben anlamadım. Man hört mich immer noch, aber ich habe Mikro ausgeschaltet. Warum? Warte mal. Properties. Jetzt sollte es gehen, Bro. Hallo? Hört mich immer noch. Weil ich habe eingestellt auf Headset. Ich habe es auf Headset eingestellt. Hallo? Yeah, anyways, okay. Okay, let's start. Okay, you guys can hear us. Okay. How's the quality of the audio? Because I'm not sure if it's the headset mic that's been used right now or the laptop mic. but I think it's all good right now. Ja, ich glaube, es passt, Bro. Ja, Deutschland, nicht Deutschland, Bro, Österreich. Österreich. Na, Spaß. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, then it's all good, I guess. You guys can see the screen also. Okay, so I would say then let's start. Let's start all the way from the daily. So we actually hit the daily demand area. I just cleaned off the whole chart. Let me just clean it again, just in case. Let me just, yeah. So we hit the daily demand. The previous daily closed heavily bearish and closed also below a big like psychological level. If you look at it from this perspective, it closed below the 30, you know. So, but let's clear that out for the second. So we tap the daily demand right here. Let's go into the 4 hour, and on the 4 hour we also have this imbalance that we tap. I mean, this is now a big zone with about 100 pips, but that's why we have it a bit unclear, so it's more visible. Let me actually change the colors also to light blue. That's how we do it with supply and demand, and imbalances we can do it green. So going to the 1 hour. For the 1 hour, let me see if we have something to deal with here. Yeah, it's also a 1 hour demand right here, which led to a big push from there. Yeah, it's pretty much a breakout area also. So if you look at the 1 hour right now at the current price action, by the way, if anything is off with the mic, guys, you just please type it in the chat so we know. As you guys know, it's the first stream, yeah, I mean, just let us know if something is off. Then yeah, anyways, so if you look at the 1 hour right now, we had a big push with Asia, a really big push actually, 390 pips. I don't know what's off with Asia, but I mean, I'm not trading Asia, but yesterday also this push was not a straight push, but look at this, like it just dropped all the way to London. London just retraced just a tiny bit and then just continued dropping with NY, pre-NY later on. So but now we tapped into a really like big area actually, because if you look at it also, we tapped into 2300, which is also a psychological area. Like we don't look much on these type of psychological levels, but if they are really like the big levels, then they are worth mentioning, you know. So let me just do this really quick. Yeah, they're worth mentioning for sure, because like 2300, 2400, 2500, or also like 50s, 30s, you know, these kind of levels are important, especially if you're trading in all-time highs as we're doing it right now. Because if you look at the left, we have no information, nothing, you know. So in times like these, actually with these all-time highs, that's how we did it. Like we were riding the waves, you know, taking the buys, and we just took profits based off psychological levels, because there is not much that you can do actually. And yeah, so anyways, so we tapped into this level also. I think we even tapped the 90. Oh, we didn't do it. Okay, we didn't tap the 90 exactly. Yeah, we didn't. So anyways, on the 1 hour, we broke structure now actually, and we left off this demand, which is quite far away, to be honest with you. Can make this a bit more a bit darker, so can see it. Yeah, make it a bit darker so we can see it. So yeah, I mean, a pullback into this, I think, would be pretty ideal. Yeah, but what's key with that is that, let's say we get these candles coming into this area. Look at this beauty of a candle. This is actually NY open. Was actually a pretty good entry, to be honest, but we're not looking at the charts at that point, trying to figure out the live stream and everything. But if we can get something like this, like candles coming into this zone, you know, but then the body closes above, you know. Let me just do this a bit darker. Yeah, so you get your candles coming in, they're teasing coming in, but then you get a closure above. That's really important. We don't want any closures into the zone, we want it above, so we don't fill the whole imbalance, because we want to trade it up, right? So in order to do that, we want closures above. That's really important. By the way, there is no delay, right? Can you check? There is no delay. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we don't want closures into the zone like this or something. Like this, not, anyways, not, because then we're not respecting the zone. But we want to tap it in, but then close above still, respecting it. So you may end up seeing something like this, where you have a wick, you know, where you have a wick like this, and then we can see a retest like this, and then slowly build the move back up, you know. I think that will be a pretty good setup for today. Of course, that doesn't mean that this has to happen. We're just trading the probabilities, so we don't get in aggressively. So if we get in the tap here, we will not be just entering in this area with no confirmation, because it can also just rip through. Because keep in mind that we are dropping now, you know, and all these macroeconomics, you know, geopolitics stuff, you know, like this war and everything, is maybe priced in. Because look at how much we were rallying. Look at this. Like, this is going on since October, beginning of October. Once this whole thing happened with the war, if you look at the daily, look at this beauty of a candle, you know, daily engulfing candle, which also reacted. I remember this because we took this trade. I even told it a friend of mine. Joel is also here, maybe he remembers that. I told him this also, where, because we look at these bodies also, and it reacted from there perfectly. This was a beauty of a trade. And this happened on 6th October, and you guys know what happened on 7th October, on the 7th. So fundamentals came in, and from there on, this was the last pullback, and then we flew up. We flew up from there, and yeah, gold has been just rallying from there. So these things you really have to keep in mind. Fundamentals do play a big role. I don't mean like these small fundamentals like, I don't know, PMI, PPI, or something like that. Of course, that also has some power in the markets, but especially these big fundamentals where war is going on, you have to you have to be on track with those guys, with those things, you know. So that closure on the daily was on the 6th October, on Friday, and there is no surprise that these things happen on the weekend, because also last week Iran and Israel, that thing also happened on the weekend. These things always happen on the weekend because it's just pure manipulation in the markets, you know. So yeah, anyways, so because we are dropping so hard, like from yeah, since the beginning of the week, if If you look at the weekly candle, it has no top wick, I think. It has still no top wick. We broke also the weekly lows. We engulfed almost like 2 weekly candles. Let's look at the weekly, monthly. We tapped into the weekly imbalance also. If you look at this, this is, I mean, we have a small imbalance here, but that can be also, by the way, interesting later on. But we have this whole zone, 600 pips of price inefficiency there. But now we tapped into the daily demand and we have a strong 4-hour closure from here. So if we can get pullbacks and we see confirmations, we can definitely do something here, I think. Because if you look at it from this perspective, we have our break of structure here. I don't know if we even had a 5-minute closure above also. So I mean, right now it can look like a fake out, but this is gold. Gold can do a heavy pullback and then come back. And now we have NYC in 5 seconds. We have NYC, so that should give us some volume. I mean, this pullback is pretty heavy, to be honest. It would be like an 80 pip pullback, but that's not much for gold, to be honest. So let's look how the 30-minute closed. Okay, 30-minute closed like a doji. 30-minute has no top wick also. We didn't have a closure above yet, but yeah, I think this looks pretty decent, to be honest. It's just a waiting game. We just have to be patient. If we are patient, we're definitely gonna get something, I think, today. Yeah, and we have also news PMI in 15 minutes. So let's mark this also to keep in mind. We took the low from Asia, from here. And yeah, pre-NY late London, then moved up, gave that liquidity sweep, fake out, whatever you might call it, doesn't matter. But yeah, and then we created a new high. So we broke structure now. We didn't have closures above now on like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and the 1 hours, but on the 5-minute we had it. So hopefully it just doesn't continue that easily, because I don't want to get in here on the breakout, because then the risk reward is not that great, you know. Because if you put out the long position here, if you get, let's say, an entry here and you have your stop like something like this, already at the highs you can secure your partials, you know. But let's say you take an entry here and you have your stop here or something, you know, for you to get a 1 to 2, I mean, it has you have to see the breakout. And yeah, I don't like to play those kind of games with gold. Yeah. There's an echo on the voice? Really? No, I don't think so. I think it's fine. Yeah, you have to plan well. You have to plan well on gold, because gold moves so quick, you know. If you're not planning on gold, you will get so much FOMO. And the best for doing that is that you zoom out. You have to zoom out and yeah, wait for the A+ setup. Otherwise, yeah, you will take a bunch of trades, and there is no point in doing that. You don't need a bunch of trades, you just need the right trades.
And also keep in mind, guys, we approached the analysis back from the weekly time frame all the way to the 15-minute. Or I mean, you could also like take it to the 5, then 1 minute, whatever, you know. But the thing is, where is your supporting area of interest that should drive price up? You know, that's the important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for the shorts, um, what is this? Okay, whatever. If you're gonna look for short in 5 minute chart, how it will be. Yeah, the shorts is tough to be honest. Uh, for me to short from here is really tough. I would wait to short if I want to short all the way in this area, because I don't want to short from here to here, because look at this price, you know, like look at the price action here. You don't have a clean range. I I would much rather take the buys where I have like 130 pips range, you know. So if I take profits here, I will be safe. If I take profits here, I may be safe also. But um, for me to take a sell here, where am I gonna put my stop and according to what, you know? So there is no zone here. There is nothing. I'm not seeing a supply. I'm not seeing anything. Uh, doesn't make sense at all for me to take a short here. We even swept the highs here. So whatever you might have, like a supply zone here or whatever you trade, it's broken at this point. So it can drop, of course, and we expect it to drop. But one thing that we always say, guys, we don't trade into our zones, you know. Just because I'm expecting it to come back into a demand zone, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna short it into demand zone, you know, because price doesn't have to come to our zones. There is no law like that, you know. Yeah. And by the way, leave a like on the stream, guys. The current viewers, we have 21 people right now watching the stream. We would appreciate if you guys leave a like. We will try to continue with these streams long term, hopefully. And yeah, we'll build up this slowly, hopefully. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. Just try to go for the A plus setups always. I know, like when the thing is always when you have a capital problem, you try to force trades. Like maybe back in the days, I would try to get a quick scalp here, you know, take a quick buy here, maybe, you know, like a 20 pip stop, just take quick money, but it's not worth it. Always think about this. You all want to be long term in this game, so you want to have a long term career. And if you want to have a long term career, would you really like try to make up like let one session be the end all be all? No, not really. Like, let's say you're like 5 years from now and you're really consistent, you have capital behind you, you're risking like, I don't know, 10K maybe per trade, 5K, 10K, which is realistic if you stay at it, you know. Or let's say 1K. 1K is really realistic for a lot of people. So would you risk 1K on that short, for example? I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't do it, to be honest. But on trades like these, like where I get a bunch of confirmations, I am going with the intraday session trend also, because right now, since late London, the intraday session trend is bullish. If you look at this, like price broke structure here first and closed above. Look at this. Let me delete the key level really quick. Yeah, we broke structure here, pulled back. This is typical gold. Closed above, went up, retested it here, and then had the same thing up here. Closed above, pulled back, went up, and then we had the same thing even here. Same thing again here, and then pulled back all the way to the previous structure, and then break out here, and then came back up again, you know. So yeah, you have to identify the intraday session trend. This is really important, and ideally also the higher time frame. Higher time frame, we are bullish, but especially this week we are pretty bearish. So that's why you have to wait for quality. I do think so. Yeah. Yeah, right now NYC didn't do much yet. It just came down, came up, came down. Just playing around in this 40 pip range. It's not a small range, to be honest, if you look at but the 1 minute candles even are so big right now. So we're waiting for the news, you know. We have 5 minutes for the news. Ideally, you never know. Like, ideally, if we get the drop with the news, and then we hang around in this area, ideally, and then get like smaller candles, and then we can execute on that. Maybe I think that will be ideal. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can also type it in the chat. While we wait for the news, we have 5 minutes. Yeah, it's pushing. You see that, guys? I don't know if you guys were in the session last week. That this is what timing is in the markets. It's the last minute of the 5 minute candle, and that's when it pushed. You know, and it pushed up pretty heavily. Look at that, 40-50 pips. 40-50 pips push in the last minute of the 5 minute candle. But no FOMO. And we won't get into buys here. It doesn't make sense. Look at the candle size, you know, 75 pips. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Yeah. A lot of people ask, you know, like about the prop firms and everything. Like, if you guys really want to go for the prop firm route, which I would say is the best option at this point nowadays, I've, you have to lose those bad habits, you know, with the small account habits, like trying to get every trade, you know. Like, if we zoom out, what is that move? Like, it's a joke, you know. So zoom out and try to look for the higher probability setups, and if you do that, you should pass your accounts, you know, pretty consistently, to be honest, because that's the only way. You're not gonna pass. I mean, you can do it. You can pass by risking maybe 0.5% on the challenge, but I don't know. My opinion, it's not worth it. Look at these prop firms. They are here today. Tomorrow they're gone. So do you really want to take like a couple months to pass a challenge? I think it's not worth it. You better like wait for higher quality setups and pass in a shorter period of time. And to do that, you have to be confident. And to be confident, you have to be patient and wait for your setups and take them over and over and over again, and not be, you know, mad if you lose one account. Thank you for this live. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. Gold has been given the best entry of the day around 10:45 these days. If you lose an entry but wait a little longer, patience will pay. Yeah, I mean, always with gold especially, patience always pays, guys. Patience always pays. And yeah, I do believe that. All the guys at FOMO here right now are in Robert. Exactly. Like, if you're a breakout trader and you FOMO'd in here, you're in drawdown right now. But it doesn't make sense anyways, because we have news in like less than 2 minutes now. Hopefully the news just doesn't push up that quickly randomly. Hopefully, but yeah. I mean, if it does that, let's prepare actually for that, I would say. Let's prepare for that. and mark out the zone. So we have a 1 hour supply here, which is pretty strong, I would say, because we dropped almost 400 pips from that zone. Like, this is the last area. So, and we have also a bunch of structure here. So I would look for this area, definitely. Let me look on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's also a supply zone on the 4 hour, you know. So let me mark out also this imbalance fill right here. This will be the fill of the imbalance completely. So ideally, what for the cells, if we can get like the push up, but no candles closing here, you know, that would be ideal, I would say. So candles going in, just like the same for the downside, same goes here. So candles like this, you know. In 15 seconds, we news are coming out, by the way. Yeah, like this, you know. And also imagine a wick, rejection wick, like this, something like this, you know. Yeah, news are pushing up now, so we wouldn't like to have closures in that into that zone, you know. Imbalance being respected, tapping in, but closing back inside. So I think that would be ideal. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If we miss an entry, it's not the end of the day. I mean, even if we don't get an entry later on, you know, it's really not the end of the day. So just be patient, you know. I mean, yeah, price is just flying right now. It is flying right now, but yeah, what can you do, you know? I mean, it is expected, but because of all this imbalance here, you know, look at this whole range. This will get filled, you know. It's price inefficiency. You can backtest this. Price will always fill these type of zones. So if you were here earlier in the session, the buys were perfect for you, you know. But of course not here, like a breakout buy. Yeah, in this case it worked out, but do you want to do this on a daily basis? You know, hope, gamble on the news and hope that it's going to push up, because it could easily also pull back heavily and then give you that fill of the range, you know. So have to be selective and picky, especially when you're trading gold. And once we approach 10 a.m. we can also start to look into NAS, because we also trade NAS, but not on market open, not on NYSE open. First we have to see how the 10 a.m. candle closes. 10 a.m. on Eastern time, by the way. So 9:30 the market opens, and half an hour later we can look at it, because then price action starts to be more clean, you know, cleaner and cleaner. Yeah, we almost are approaching the zone, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, we were hoping that this doesn't happen actually, that we push up right with the news, but yeah, market is not always going to do what you want, you know, you just have to react. That's why we prepared for both sides, but doing anything in between the range, no, it's not part of the plan. This is not a quality setup.
Exactly, and it's not like for us, a missed entry is only a missed entry if it was part of our playbook. So if the actual setup was not even part of our playbook, we don't even consider it as a missed entry. So obviously, if we would have been trading NY open, that was like the perfect entry for the buys, and it would also suit our playbook. So we could consider the NY open 5-minute candle like this this 5-minute candle here, this we could consider as a missed opportunity. Yeah, but we will probably live stream before, right before MOSE, after the 4-hour closure. That's why this trade would not be in our books as a missed trade. So we would not put that one in our journal or was whatever, and say that it was a trade that we missed. You know. But yeah, FTMO is yeah, it's a decent firm. We are also funded with FTMO. We've got a bunch of payouts with them. It's probably the biggest one in the industry right now. And
I think also the most reputable one probably, but in total honesty, if you're just at the beginning of your journey, I personally would not recommend FTMO maybe, because it is quite expensive, to be honest. It is definitely expensive, so you may be better off going for a firm that has cheaper prices, and then you build up your buffer with getting some payouts, you know, and stacking the payouts, and then once you have a bit more of a buffer, then you can go for the more expensive firms. That's actually how we did it. I've after this whole thing with MFF, when I've lost my first account, then yeah, I stopped a bit with the prop firms, took a break, I went on vacation and everything, and then I started with a smaller firm, which was in that case funding pips, and was even a smaller account, by the way. It was a 50k account, and started to get consistent payouts every week. And yeah, once I got that, then I started with FTMO. They had a discount on New Year's Eve. Bought 2 accounts, passed both of them. Didn't lose a challenge, luckily, you know, fortunately. And yeah, that's how we build it back up actually. I mean, that's actually a blueprint, you know. If you, let's say you don't have the money for a 100k account, you can afford a 10k account or 5k account. Get that account, pass that account, get a payout on that account, and try to get consistent payouts. And that's the beauty of like firms like Funding Pips. They offer weekly payouts, so you can scale up pretty fast actually if you're profitable. I mean, but of course the first step is just to be profitable. If you're not profitable, then you will have a hard time anyways, you know. Yeah, so yeah, gold is playing around in this area right now. The 1-hour candle, daily yeah, daily opening price, yeah, daily will flip at that point. That's true. Yeah, I would have really preferred the buys. Like we said from the very beginning, we only planned for the buys. But yeah, we didn't get the pullback, unfortunately, you know. But this 4-hour, man, this 4-hour looked solid. Whenever you see like 4 hours like this, it's pretty strong. Of course, it depends from where, but from a daily demand zone to get a 4-hour like that, it's pretty strong. But of course, you can't just enter on the 4-hour, like put a stop like that. You wouldn't be even at 1-to-1 risk reward right now. So yeah, it's just a waiting game at this point. Yeah. How long are you guys have been trading now? And gold especially. Do we have anyone like trading like 2-3 years maybe gold, or even 4 years like us? It's pretty much when we started, we just started with gold. It was with oil and then with gold. It's pretty funny actually to start like right from the beginning with yeah, with such a a hard pair, you know, because for the beginning gold is tough, but once you get used to it, it's a blessing, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, last 10 minutes of the 1 hour candle, and we're still pushing. Still pushing up. Yeah, we just checked NAS, but NAS is also pretty much the same price action. It's also just pushing at this point, but after 10 a.m. we can maybe get something on NAS. Yeah, we just need a retracement. But gold at this point just went way too far for you to get buys, you know. And also, by the way, on most of the profits you can't even trade the news, so it's a no anyways, you know. Even if you might trade the news, we wouldn't be able to execute anyways. So.
And also, like, they have some, for example, like FTMO has their own economic calendar where they where you can select like restricted news events and not restricted news events. At FTMO, I would not have like any concerns if you trade non-restricted news events, like open a trade during that one. But I saw like a lot of firms like just even though they have like this 2 minute before, 2 minute after window, they usually don't pay the guys out if they have like
Yeah.
big payouts and stuff like that. I just read one yesterday at night in Discord. I think it was with Alpha Capital or something like that. But yeah, you just have to be also like honest to yourself, you know. Like, would that be really your plan? Just like gamble on news your whole entire trading career? I don't think so. So that's why you also have to consider like really good setups. Like, for example, again, if we go back to the New York Open, that 5 minute candle, you would have also already been profits way before the news. You would also
Yeah.
have like secured most of your positions, and then it wouldn't even matter if you hold for the news. You know, like if it goes like this, nice. Like you had your runner, and your runner still pays you. You know, it's all good, but a full position, a buy stop, for example, or a sell stop, that's not for us, guys. Like our capital is not that cheap. So you always have to first focus on capital preservation and then look into building it up.
Yeah, we touched the zone, but there is nothing yet, you know. We don't jump in aggressively. So, and also we're gonna wait for the 1 hour closure now. And it looks like we have some momentum in the markets. It can also just rip through the zone, you know. Can go up to this zone even, you know. You never know. What's this? Wait. Yeah. May go even up all the way to here, you know. You never know. So yeah, we have to wait for something clear. But I don't like that zone even above, so if it goes there, I wouldn't even sell it, to be honest.
And daily would also flip.
Yeah, because at that point, if it goes there, the daily will break its own high. At that point, and this is the daily high, so if it goes up to this area, I'm not interested in selling that. I would rather maybe, yeah, just sit on the sidelines 10 years Forex and gold recently. Yeah, that's amazing, bro.
Leonardo, hello man, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah, we also used to trade Forex back in the days, but we were trading just all of the pairs. Literally, yeah, the beginning was pretty funny, to be honest. We were trading all of the Forex pairs, but funny enough, once we got the hang of gold, the Forex pairs were just eating up the profits from gold. So then after a while, we just stopped it, you know? Yeah.
And if you really like spend time on the charts with gold, like you will see that gold can pay you every single day. You know, that's the beauty of it. Even though you are maybe like on the wrong side of the daily expansion or whatever, you can still get 100, 200 pips with gold. Like we are not these kind of, and we will also not be these kind of streamers that will have like a negative risk to reward ratio or will secure in 10, 20 pips with gold or something like that. You know, like that's a 1 minute candle on gold, guys. So we will try to get the right trading on YouTube.
Yeah. Because that's also not realistic, I think, for most of the guys. I mean, I don't trade like that, so it would be just fake if I would trade like that on stream, I think. Just taking 10 pips. We also have nothing against that, by the way. Like, because at the end of the day, it's just about making money. If you're making money with 10 pips, it's also great. I used to do it, actually. Back in the days, we also used to secure pretty fast once we got into scalping. But yeah, I find profitability is just way better if you just have at least a positive risk reward, you know. You can also trade one-to-one. I mean, what we do a lot of times is move stop loss break even at one-to-one, or take half of the position maybe off, but usually it's just a clean 1-2, you know. And now, guys, interestingly, now we had 1 5-minute pushing into the zone, but we closed below the imbalance fill. If you look at it, this is what we wanted actually. And now we are getting that bearish candle. I mean, we don't know yet because it's just 3 minutes in. It's the first candle of the 1 hour. This is not the candle that you want to execute a trade on, but it is good that we're seeing what we were planning to do. So it's good always to plan for both sides. I would have preferred the buys much more, to be honest, but yeah, you can't always get in the markets what you want, you know. How would you look for the sell if you were to enter soon? First, we definitely need a bearish candle, you know, but not just a weak bearish doji or something. We need a nice pin bar or a nice engulfing candle. And first of all, we need a break of this candle low. Funny enough, we got it just right now. And a break of structure on the 1 minute is also happening right now. So yeah, going back to the question, I need that break. The break, we got it right now, so that's done. I need candles closing below this line. So yeah, the candles should just not exceed this line right here, the red line. And as far as now, like still now, we didn't have any candle closing back above it, so that's good. Yeah, and if this candle closes strong bearish, then we can get a pullback with the next candle maybe. And if we see also structure building up on the lower time frames, we can maybe look for an entry. But I would really prefer to see some kind of structure being broken first, you know, which would take a bit of time. So you may see a move coming down a little bit, and you don't FOMO in, and then we get a retracement, and then on the retracement we can get in, you know, once we have proper confirmations. Because keep in mind, guys, for the buys we had a lot of price action to work with, but here right now this is the first time we're tapping in. And now the daily, again, zoom out, the daily corrected now the whole move. We dropped heavily with Asia, we were ranging during London, got the fake out, got the sweep of liquidity, and now we corrected the whole move with NY. And this is something that happens a lot of times, you know. This happens a lot. So usually NY just corrects, but sometimes also just gives you the correct continuation. But yeah, and this is why you have to wait for the closure, guys. Look at that. What did we say about timing? Timing is really key in the markets, especially New York session. We are specialized on New York session, and New York session timing is so important, guys. You know, and look what happens in the last minute of the 5-minute candle. The last minute candle, we broke the low, but we rejected now. We didn't close below the wick, so that's why you always have to wait for candle closures. Yeah, the closure is really weak, extremely weak, super weak. So as of now, yeah, as of now there is nothing yet. We can hang around this area for a while maybe, which would be good actually, because we would have more data to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that yesterday's daily candle closed below this daily imbalance. Okay, so let's do the imbalances in green. And right now we are retesting the already filled and filled imbalance from the daily from below. So of course it is definitely an interesting area to look for sells, but we did not get like enough confirmations for the cells. And it also, like, you don't really want to like this 1 hour candle, like look at this, it's like 170 pips big, so you don't really want to fight this 1 hour candle. If we would have gotten like a weak closure, like if the wick of this hourly would be something like this, for example, then alright, okay, this would be like a really nice setup. But what we have here is not something like that, so we will wait a little bit more. Don't rush into any trades. As we said, like from the closure of this candle, it could easily like take the high of this one. If you are years and years in the game, you see these type of things like every day, guys. So, and this comes obviously with experience and also just with basic price action knowledge.
And by the way, also focusing on the higher time frame candles, like the time frames, is really important, because look how the 1 hour candle closed. It closed pretty strong, in total honesty. So it's just a bottom wick, you know. It's just a bottom wick, but also I've seen it also many times. These moves can get corrected pretty fast, you know. Look at this whole inefficiency that we left on the 1 hour, you know. We have like 60 pips inefficiency. So yeah, we just have to wait a little bit and yeah, see how the 5-minute candles are closing. We have 1 minute for this 5-minute candle to close, and as far as now it looks like it will close above the line, you know. If we don't reject now in the last minute, which can happen, because in the last minute of 5-minute candle, that's when the moves happen, you know. These are really important things to keep in mind, guys. Like last minute of the 15-minute candle, hourly candle, 30-minute candle, don't FOMO in, you know. Like especially of the 1 hour and 4 hour candle, the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes, I would personally not consider taking a trade. In total honesty, I would really not, because most of the times you will become John Wick, you know. For the people who don't know what that means, yeah, look, again, last minute, guys, last minute we were seeing the rejection, funny enough. Yeah, that's why the last minute is so important. This is really key in the markets. Last minute we got the rejection now again. So yeah, you don't want to become John Wick, and you avoid becoming John Wick by just not forming in the last minutes of a candle, you know. Let's see this 5-minute candle just open up, taking the low, but the previous one also respected the high, huh? Yeah, it's like the same area pretty much. Yeah,
50-minute will close in 4 minutes.
exactly. We will have a closure on the 15-minute in 4 minutes. No, we don't have max allocation on 400k yet, on FTMO yet. I mean, to be honest, FTMO is probably the only prop firm where you would want to go for a max allocation. I mean, you would want to go it on all of them, but where it would make sense, you know, for the time that you invest and everything, because they're in the games for such a long time now at this point. But yeah, we like to diversify, you know, build up slowly, uh, because FTMO can be also gone, you know, next week. Nobody, like back in the day, like nobody would have ever thought that MFF would be gone, you know. Nobody would have thought that. Like MFF was they were the biggest one, and yeah, but yeah, anyways, just try to get like 100k here, 50k here, 100k there, or like diversify, and then once you really like have to scale up, then you can start to max allocate. All the city capital, I know that from a friend of mine. He got an offer, but I think they're doing even A-book trading. I think they're funding even an A-book, as far as I know, because they wanted the track record and stuff from him. But yeah, I remember something like that. But that's like 2 years ago, 1 year ago. And he was funded with FTMO also, but yeah. But yeah, if they are around since 2012, they're probably legit, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting, like they have different drawdowns for both phases. That's interesting. I saw this like the first time, I think, that a firm has this. The max daily drawdown on the challenge phase is 7.5, on the verification it's 5, and the max drawdown on challenge is 15%, on the verification it's 10%. So really interesting. And also like we are getting a few moves here on gold, I guess.
Yeah, we have 1 minute for the 15-minute closure.
That was like a 40 pip, 50 pip.
Yeah. So this is it's building up quite nicely, to be honest, because if you guys see, we wicked into the zones quite a lot, but eventually we didn't have any 5-minute candle closing into it, you know. Of course, we had 1-minute candles, you know, but we look at the 5-minute for things like that. For the imbalance fills, so we didn't have any 5-minute candle closing above at the imbalance, but we tapped into the supply zone and rejected from it, which is good. So now the 15-minute candle is closing in about 5 seconds. Yes, exactly. Now ideally we wait for the retest, because look, before we had this closure, now we didn't have all of this information. We need strong confirmations, and now we have the 15-minute candle closure with a pretty strong bearish candle. So ideally now, if we can get a pullback and start to see confirmations also on the lower time frames, on the 1 minute, then we will probably give this a shot. Yeah.
5 minutes is really strong, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that was a really nice closure. Like, it's also like closed below the imbalance on the 5 minutes. So that's also really good. And now dropping really nicely.
Hopefully it just doesn't drop right away. That would be, yeah, a bit of a headache, to be honest. But these things, by the way, can happen a lot of times on gold. Like, a lot of times it can go into your desired area, and if you don't get like your clean confirmations, it can still go, you know, because at the end of the day, these candles are just, yeah, not, it's not the candles moving price, you know.
80 pips stop.
But yeah, yeah, it's a big stop for sure. It's not worth
I
it.
mean, if you've gotten limit entry from the 1 minute, it's okay, but just too much.
How much we risk? It depends on if you're on a funded account or if you're on a challenge account. But I would say on funded accounts, I would not recommend more than 0.5%. Yeah, if you're on 100K, a challenge phase is different. I would risk way more on a challenge, to be honest. But yeah, that's the thing I was about to say. So everybody's different. So my first funded account back in the day with MFF, I didn't risk much, to be honest. I risked 1%, and I just had more trades, to be honest, because I was not used to this thing, you know, like, and I didn't have a big personal account and everything. I was just trading small accounts and just making money with that. I was making consistent money, but not much. Maybe, 2-3K here, you know, 4K maybe there, you know. So, but it depends on your on your journey. Don't compare yourself, you know, to other people, you know, who are risking maybe way more per challenge. If it's money that you can't afford to lose, I would go lower risk. But if you can afford to lose that 100K challenge, but of course it should still hurt you a little bit, so you take it serious. But if you can afford to lose it, I would not risk less than 2%. of course, I mean, you have to go for high probability setups. If you're just taking buy, sell left and right, you know, trades left and right, so of course then I would not recommend you that. But then you're not gonna be funded anyways. You can pass a funded account, but you will lose it. You know, you will not make consistent payouts. I would consider, you know, like being consistent if you can get a funded account and you get like at least, I don't know, like a couple payouts, you know, 3-4 payouts, and they don't have to be big, you know. If you can make 1 to 2% per payout consistently, that's great money. At the end of the day, it's not a percentage problem that traders are facing, it's a capital problem. If you have the right capital, if you have enough capital, then you don't need to make, I don't know, 10% a month, which is not realistic anyways. The best traders in the world are not making 10% a month, you know. Where is a hedge fund that makes 120% a year? You know, those things don't exist because it's you can't go that much of a risk on big capital. You know, you can't risk like 1% on a position if you have billions and billions. You know, in capital. Yeah. Yeah, if you're scared, go low risk. But if you're scared, I think 100k challenge is maybe too much. Maybe go for a refund. Take your refund for the 100k and go maybe for a smaller account. Maybe 50k, maybe 20k, maybe 10k. It's really not a race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I know this is like cliche, but I would definitely do that. Like Vector fan, if you if 100k you're scared to lose that 500 euros or dollars, whatever. I think on FTMO it's 550 or 60 euros, which is a lot, you know. If you lose it like a couple of times, that's a wage, you know, a monthly wage. So I would maybe get my refund, and if I get the refund, I would go for a smaller account, definitely, because if you are scared to lose that money, then I think it's not a good idea to it's not a good idea, you know, to trade that challenge. But it's your decision anyways, you know. But that would be my recommendation, to be honest. Get a refund, go for a smaller account. How do you manage multiple prop firm accounts? Do you use copy trader or what? They aim for 1% monthly. You mean the big guys? Yeah, of course. 1% a month is a great return, you know. If you have 1 mil in capital, 1 million and 1%, bro, that's amazing. Yeah, because I mean that's 10k. That's amazing, you know. Like you don't need more than that. And if you build up your capital even more, 1% is just getting more and more. But the same 1% is just 1%, you know. How do we manage multiple prop firm accounts? Yeah, we tried it with the copy trader, to be honest. I even lost an account on that. I mean Hamza also, I think. On challenges, we had some problems with that. So I don't know. I feel weird with these copy traders because yeah, you can face some issues on that, and that really hurts, you know. For example, you lose on one account. Let's say you're trading a challenge and you're risking 2%, which is fine if you have the funding and if you have a buffer, if you have a cushion of money. And then, for example, on one account you're losing 2%, and on the other account you lost 4% because it just doubled your risk, which shouldn't be the case. And then you just blew the account maybe on slippage or whatever it might be, or you took another trade and you lost again, and you should be down 4%, but then you're down 8% on the other account, so you breach the daily loss, you know. Copy trader is really risky. Even I think Andrew said in the podcast that he also had something like that. Many traders face that, I think. So with the copy traders, you really have to be mindful and really careful, in my opinion.
So what actually happened, like with the copy trader, I think it was at the beginning of this month. I bought like a few challenges, and I was like, okay, let's put them all on a copy trader, and I copied from one of my funded accounts. And what happened is I copied only the executions from the funded, so I didn't copy take profits or stop losses or whatever. But with gold, that's a really slippery slope, because like your um, execution can get slipped very very easily. So after that I lost, and also like the trades did not get copied on all of the accounts. That was also an issue. So I couldn't really focus on the trade. I had to focus on the management of the accounts. So that was really not so great, to be honest. And what also like happened is I then lost one because of the slippage of the execution due to daily loss. So that's why like I stopped doing that. So lost actually one challenge out of like I think I had like 6 challenges, like 6 100K challenges or something like that. So yeah, I mean it's an experience, but I will probably not copy again with especially with gold. I think with forex, like I think like Andrew mostly trades forex, I think. So if that works for him, it's great. But honestly, with gold, I think managing only one account is way enough for the return.
Yeah, and especially if you're an intraday trader like we are, you can easily manage a couple of accounts. You know, it's not that hard, to be honest. Like if you have like 3 4 accounts or 5 accounts, you can trade one each and just rotate the accounts. I think that's pretty manageable the way we do it. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. I remember one time um, it was a bit overwhelming for me when I had like 4 accounts at one point. All like I got the payout and then I had to trade them, and yeah, it was definitely a bit overwhelming, to be honest. But yeah, with time I think you can get used to it. But yeah, the 1% thing, if every trader would do it, of course you would be profitable, but it's not that easy, you know. It's easy to say, but hard to do, to be honest, because greed comes into play. I remember I lost even one account because of that. Um, I was up like 2 3% or something, and it was not enough, you know. Even though on a 100K, it's not bad, you know. It's good money. It's a monthly wage here in Austria. Um, but yeah, you get greedy, you know. You want to get like maybe more built. Then you think like, oh, you have a buffer, you know. Now you can make even more and stuff. So it's easy to say but hard to do. I think the best combination for that would be maybe have some accounts with conservative risk and some accounts where you try to push the boundaries a bit more than 1%, 2%.
For
Yeah,
that, you would have to have like a few accounts, at least like 10,
exactly.
10 funded accounts or something like that.
Yeah.
Like where you can really do this diversification. Because, for example, for me, like I'm not. I would say I'm pretty conservative on my FTMO accounts. I log in like one trade. If I have one trade and that's a winner, I don't care how much. It could be 2%, it could be 5%. For example, last time it was 5%, but usually it's around 3 or 4% with one big winner. Because we also leave like runners and stuff like that. Probably most of you guys are in the Telegram, so you are seeing our setups. So I traded only one day on the FTMO and deleted from all my platforms, and now just waiting for the payout. But for example, with other firms, for example with Funny Peaks, I have like weekly payouts. I can also be conservative on that one. Why? Because I can milk them like every now and then, and every week I am getting payouts. That's why the payout certificate that I posted was just 2.5% after the split. But it's enough if you have 2% every week. That's 8%, guys. So
Exactly.
always keep that in mind. Have a long-term perspective.
Yeah, we only trade gold and NAS, mainly gold to be honest, but we also do look at NAS. Um, but NAS, you have to be really picky. Like sometimes, you know, it gives you it gives that move with NYC and then comes back, retraces. But for example, on days like today, there is not much you can do. You know, it just goes and goes further. But a lot of times you can get good trades on NAS also. Actually, funny enough, on January I think it was, when gold was ranging, gold was in an ugly, really ugly range. Uh, I made all of the money like with NAS. I passed all the challenges with NAS. I made the most money on NAS. I can even show that on FTMO, I think, maybe. But yeah, so it's good, I think, to have at least more than one pair, you know. But mainly, the way to go for us is gold, definitely. That's the we have the most experience on gold, you know. Yeah, how much R is good for a position, do you think? I think the sweet spot is a 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is really realistic, and I think that's pretty good. Most of the trades will try to get a 1 to 2, and if the runner goes for more, it goes for more. But I think 1 to 2 is a pretty good risk reward. And if we look at the price right now, we were looking at this imbalance to get tapped, but uh, it didn't give us a proper pullback yet. And the 15-minute now closed also, but we have now a brand new 30-minute. A brand new 30-minute candle can give a heavy pullback. So ideally, if we can get that heavy pullback, we can get the move down. Yeah. Yeah.
And ideally before sweeping the low of the previous one.
Yeah. Let's see. In about like 15 minutes or so, I think somebody can get interesting, because that's usually the time where you get the good entries. Yeah. You had two funded accounts, 200k around. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. You know, uh, just go for another one. Try again. You know. I mean, at the end of the day, just because you lost the accounts doesn't mean that you're not profitable, you know, because a 10% buffer is not a lot. And also many people lose it on daily loss limits. I think I lost many of my accounts because of daily loss challenges, especially because you get slipped a lot. So yeah, but you have to deal with it. I mean, this is a great opportunity with the prop firms, and you have to adapt, you know. Yes, around 10:45 market context has been given the best entry of the day. Yeah, yeah, I would say so also. And also, to be honest, now that we have this whole break, since uh, before when we came to the charts, we didn't have this push. So if we get a pullback, even let me see on the 30, 15, yeah, this whole area can also be interesting to look at. So we'll have this here on the sideline, and if we get the pullback here, it can get also interesting. Oh, but yeah, let's see how this 5-minute candle closes, because it's broke the low and is now flipping again. So yeah, let's see. Did you break the previous minimum? If you retest in that underlined area, you enter 100%, or look at the other things. I didn't quite get the question, to be honest, bro. Sorry, Vector fan. But I think we had a question above which we didn't see. So you trade from Rough Crew. So you trade only gold and NASDAQ, smaller time frame. You look at it. Yeah, we do the analysis on. We look at the daily zone, then break it down maybe on the 4 hour, 1 hour. But the execution mostly is on the 5-minute time frame. 5 minute, maybe 15 minute if the candles are really like small, you know. But yeah, mainly it's like that. yeah, it's keeps on dropping. Really interesting behavior from gold, to be honest. With the buys, it also went with no retracement, and with the sells, it was also just dropping. But there was really no risk reward. Like, if, let's say we took the sell here on this break, which would be the only entry that would make sense, you are at a 1-to-1 right now. So you could maybe, yeah, we would maybe move to break even, but this is not an entry that we would take. So you have to see at least 2 consecutive bearish or bullish candles, and then you take it on the third one, maybe, you know. That's a good entry. So yeah. So yeah, no FOMO, guys. No FOMO whatsoever. On days like this, it's really important to stay disciplined. Discipline is the most important. I mean, we can just take buy and sell left and right, especially for the stream. I think it would be really good because people would like it and they would send it around or whatever. But that's not the way to go, you know. We don't want to show you guys like bad, just bad behavior, bad habits, you know. These are not good habits to build long term. Because 1 year from now, if you guys build up good habits, your whole trading can change. You know, 1 year is a really long time. People really underestimate themselves in the long term. Always, like, people love to overestimate themselves for the short term, but when it comes for the long term, people underestimate themselves, you know. So long term, you can achieve a bunch of stuff. Just have to be patient, you know. And especially in trading, it can really develop fast, you know. You may be in a really low point in your life, and once you take this thing serious, this skill set can really change your life, to be honest. Which technique is the best for trade to you? What do you mean with the technique? I saw you guys stay up or wake up at 3 a.m. the other day to trade gold on Asian. Based on what price action did you make the decision that Asian session will move? Yeah, I think Hamza can answer that because, yeah.
So yeah, I took on. I think I took the sales. Yeah. Actually, I was up for the buys and was waiting for a retracement to buy that big move. But unfortunately, I didn't really get a retracement. So what I did is I waited for confirmations to sell because price was respecting supply areas and imbalances from the all-time high. And what I've done is just with low risk went, because the candles were way too big, I went into the 1 minute and waited for change in delivery. And I think on a 100k I just went in with like one lot. I risked like maybe 0.5% or something like that, but the move just paid in terms of risk to reward. And I entered again after I had like a bigger break of structure and then a retracement, and that's where I risked the profits that I have made from the Asian session to capture like more of the move in terms of percentage gain.
Yeah, and also the thing is, there were fundamentals, you know. Iran,
Exactly.
Iran hit,
Fake moves.
yeah, Iran hit Israel, but they didn't hit anything, you know. They just hit like empty ground area in Israel, just for nothing basically. So if you look at it, it pushed up a lot, 300-400 pips, but it was a fake out. Just grabbed liquidity and then corrected the whole move. But we don't stay up usually, you know. It's just that sometimes these things, actually funny enough, so many things happened in Asia this year during Ramadan, and during Ramadan we are up during the night, like especially like at 3 a.m. So, and that's actually the Asia Open for our time. So when were eating and stuff, you know, so in Ramadan we saw many moves, but usually we don't take Asia moves. It was only because of the fasting month, you know. Yeah. PA or technically analyzing or blah blah. Yeah, I mean we use price action. We look at price action. Price action is more than enough for us. Funny enough, like first in the beginning we started with an indicator strategy, but yeah, I tried it also like to implement indicators here and there, but it's really just not necessary, to be honest. I don't hate on indicators. I know there are traders who make a bunch of money with them, but I never got used to them, to be honest. And price is telling the story anyways, you know. If you just look at the price, it's telling the story anyways. You don't need it because indicators are just a replication of the candles printing. Yeah, it's delayed anyways. It's a lagging indicator, you know. So God, thank you guys. Leonardo, quick question: what time will be the live streams every day? Yeah, that's a good question. I think from now on to make the live streams consistent, like we will start at 9 a.m. I think. So 9 a.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Central European time. I think so. Basically, in a trader language, with the 4-hour close, you know, when the 4-hour candle closes, that's where we will. That's when we will start. And yeah, we'll let you guys know also in the Telegram channel. If you're not in our Telegram channel, make sure to join the Telegram channel also. Yeah, make sure to join the Telegram channel. We'll keep you guys up to date there. You can also follow our Twitter, I think. If you guys wish, you can follow the Twitter also, because yeah, if anything changes or something, we'll let you guys know from there. Yeah. But yeah, the 9 a.m. is good, I think. I think it's a pretty good time because you will also always see like the volume during that time, because NYSE gives you always volume almost. Of course, not every day, but majority of the time you will see movement. I'm just putting into the description now the Telegram channel. For you guys to see. Okay, I can't even put it. Yeah, I'll just put it in the chat, I guess. Yeah, we have to do something on the settings, I think. Yeah, I'm just putting it here in the chat. And I'm also gonna post the Twitter accounts for you guys to see. Yeah, it's a shame, to be honest, guys. Going back to price action, funny enough, you know, I mean, I know many of you guys maybe have FOMO right now. I mean, had FOMO, the movie's already done. But yeah, we planned really well for the sales, also for the buys. But for the buys, we never got the pullback, so we didn't miss anything. Also, we didn't miss anything on the sales because we didn't get the confirmations. But a really nice move from gold, 130 pips, and yeah, projected everything actually really in a nice way. I would not say perfect, but we didn't have any 5-minute candle closing above our line. And for you guys who joined in late, the line was based off the imbalance fill, because this is the whole price inefficiency, and we didn't have any candle closing above. We just had wicks, which you see always with gold. But yeah, unfortunately we just had a double top on the 1 minute and just dropped. We didn't have any kind of confirmation. We wanted to see maybe a retracement, but it didn't give us the retracement, so it is what it is, you know. It's part of the game. But days like this, it's also good for your discipline, you know. It's it's a winning day because it's a break-even day, maybe because you didn't take a position, but the analysis worked out perfectly, so it's a character building day. And of course, like if you are desperate to get trades, you will feel bad on days like this, but especially if you're feeling like that, you should just teach yourself to yeah, really be disciplined, you know. So now we have like 10:45, um, which can give a lot of entries, maybe, you know, most of the time. So if we can get a pullback maybe in here and we get confirmations, we can look for the buys because we didn't get the sells now. And also, funny enough, this thing happened, you know. We had the 1 hour candle pushing up so much. It looked like there is a crazy momentum, but it just took out the high, reacted from the supply zone and corrected the whole move. You know, these things can happen. You just have to see them over and over again, and then you can project them also. But ideally, you also get your confirmations to enter, you know. But yeah, sometimes it will just give you one strong 5-minute bearish and no pullback and then just go, you know. But yeah, in Asian session we get good RR trades in gold. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I think this year, yeah, Asian session with this whole thing, um, it gave good moves, but usually Asia is pretty yeah, pretty choppy, to be honest. I would not recommend you trading Asia. I would say the best trades happen usually during London and NY for sure. Yeah.
And also, like with Asia, you have to secure pretty much like at a previous high or low, because like the first one will get the first obvious high or low will get tapped. Either it gets respected or it gets swept. But the thing is, that was like the entire move for Asia most of the time. And then what happens is during London or New York, the Asian low or the Asian high will act as liquidity pools where price tends to take them out, you know. So you can't really swing or intraday hold those positions from Asia. For example, right now, you know, if you, for example, you entered maybe somewhere here during Asia, whatever, you know, like okay, you had like a really nice move. Okay, that's nice. But how often does this happen? You know, like if you go, for example, like to yesterday or the day before, you know, like most of the time where we have like more like ranges and stuff like that, like smoother movement. These are the days where Asian lows or highs will get swept. So, alright, okay, yesterday it didn't get swept, today it didn't get swept, but we're talking about like years and years and years of backtesting data. Okay, we're not just talking about 2 days, we're talking about hundreds of days of data. So that's important to keep in mind. That's why we are focusing on the New York session and especially on NYSE, because like these are the easiest trades, uh, in our opinion, to trade gold. The next step would be to trade NY Open, but it's more difficult for beginners and people that are not used to the movement of gold, because 1 minute can give you 50 pips, 40 pips, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, we have now three 50-minute candles, but we are hoping for the 5 minute. No, we're not hoping for anything. We're not hoping for anything. You don't hope, you just wait, you know. We're not hoping for anything, but no, I deleted that also already. At this point, there is no point in just going for the sales anyways, because we went down so much. So yeah, we have the first reaction now, but yeah, the 5 minute candle has now opened with no bottom wick. Yeah, we only have like one engulfing 1 minute, but the candles are way too big now, and I would have loved to see the tap into here, you know, because look what happened before. If you look at it, this is the first break of structure. Yeah, like this. If you look at it, and always once we had the break of structure, it came back. I mean, yeah, it came back now, but would have loved to see it go a bit deeper, you know. It's actually not that bad if you look at it from this perspective, because it respected this imbalance also. So we tapped into it, but we didn't close below it. So it's also not that bad, to be honest. But let's wait for more structure here, because we didn't plan for this thing, and I don't like to take haphazard trades. You know, I don't like that at all. So as for gold, it's better to wait. You know, I mean, of course, it can just rip through and fly now out of nowhere, but let's wait for some more structure, because yeah, this is not in our rules. Also, we have like 10 minutes left for the 1 hour candle, and that's also one of our rules that we have to wait for. So yeah, have to be just a bit more patient, guys. Look at the 1 minute. Yeah, I did. I have the 1 minute now, but no, we can't do much here because it's just the last 10 minutes of the 1 hour. Yeah, guys, I took the sell from that 1 hour supply zone, got 1 to 3 RR. Also, I passed the FTMO trial challenge, made 5% in 1 week, all 100% thanks to your guidance. Thank you. Yeah, that's great, Leonardo. I mean, that's amazing. It was a great zone. That's why we marked it out. I mean, from there we dropped so much, you know, during Asia. But we didn't get any confirmations. The only thing that you could have done is enter here at the wicks and use a 40 pip stop, but it's not a quality setup that we love to take. But if that was in your playbook and it was within your rules and you got a win, congrats on that. It's amazing. But the important thing is really that it's in your playbook, guys. Like, don't just take trades for the sake of it. Only take trades that are in your playbook, that are according to your plans. Because if you're taking trades, yeah, just for the sake of it, long term it will not benefit you, you know, because not every, by the way, not every winning trade is a good trade. There are there is something called bad profits, you know. If you make profit on a trade that you didn't plan, you shouldn't be taking and everything, you know, those are not good profits. Those are bad profits because those profits are building bad habits. And by the way, I'm putting in the Twitter links. You guys can check us out on Twitter. On social media right now, we're only on Twitter. We will look to go in on IG also maybe, but as far as now, just on Twitter. Yeah, we'll keep you guys up to date there, so you can follow our Twitter, and yeah, we would appreciate the support.
Also leave a like on the stream if you haven't, guys.
Yeah, if like if you want us to continue with the live streams consistently, we would really appreciate you guys supporting it. You know, you can post it, I don't know, in some Telegram channels maybe, or share it with your friends if you like it, and that would motivate us also to be consistent with the live streams. Yeah, because we really plan on doing this consistently. We even reinvested our profits into this new beast that we are using right now. So yeah, we would appreciate it if you guys would support us by sharing the links and everything, you know. Yeah. So now we are seeing, like, we had one 5-minute candle closing bullish, interestingly. So if we can get the, because we have now one tap and then another one and then a right tap, but eventually I want this zone at least to get tapped, you know, because that would be a typical gold move, you know. That would be a typical gold move. We would hit this area even lower, actually, you know. If we could go even lower, that would be even better, you know. Take out this low, because this low right here, this is the NYSE low. If we can take out this low and then close above it, that would be, I think, a pretty decent setup. Of course, with candle confirmations and everything, you know, we need pin bars, engulfing candles and stuff. So yeah, I hit my daily drawdown just sitting and watching today. Yeah, hopefully you hit the daily drawdown by taking only trades that are in your playbook, bro. Then I think it's fine. It's completely fine. If you were risking on a challenge 2% and you took two losses, I think then it's fine, you know. You shouldn't blame yourself. But if you force trades and you saw us waiting here for these buys to develop, then the drop to develop, you know, but we didn't take it, but you took it left and right. Because remember this, guys, I mean, you can take trades, but if you didn't plan them, you will not have confidence in those trades. So let's say you executed a buy here, but then this whole pullback comes 40 pips and you start to sweat, and then you get to break even and you close it and you miss out on your move, you know. Or the other way around, you know, here you executed a sell right here, have a stop loss like there, and price is hanging around, you know, going break even, drawdown profit, and hanging out around break even. And if you're not confident, you will start to question your ability and everything. So you may not hold the trade. That's why you have to be really picky. Yeah, we have about like 2 minutes for the 1 hour closure. At this point, it's getting also late. Yeah, it's getting late also. And not every day is a trading day, guys. It's really like that. Like, don't force a trade every day. We might even call it a day if you don't see something now within the next like 15 minutes. Because the candles, if you look at it, look how many like to make the move here with NYC, it took about 4 candles, 20 minutes. But to give us a move now from there, it took about like 9 candles. Now it's rejecting. So yeah, volume is decreasing, so we don't have to force anything, and we can come back tomorrow and yeah, get a nice trade.
It's also like another thing to call moves, and it's also like something else to be able to execute on the moves.
Exactly.
That's why we have rules in place in our playbook where we have strict confirmations for entries and also strict uh, confirmations for not taking any positions. You know what I mean? So yeah, we were right on both moves, but we didn't capture on them. It's still okay because our analysis played out, but we didn't get the confirmations that we wanted to see.
You don't have to capitalize on every move. That's also another thing. So don't try to like, just because your analysis is playing out doesn't mean that you have to capitalize on every move. Like, important thing is that you get your confirmations, because that will sustain you long term. That's the thing, because you can enter just blindly aggressively from your zones. I used to do that actually. I had like 1 hour supply zones, and we would just enter, maybe even put a limit order, like this, put the stop above. Let me delete this zone. Yeah, put the stop above, and yeah, just target a break-in retest or something, or just a 1 to 2, whatever it might be. So, but the question is, can you do this long term? And will you be confident in those kind of trades? Because who says that it has to respect that, So waiting for the confirmation is the best play, to be honest, because that will increase your win rate a lot. And once you increase your win rate, you will also have more confidence. And once you have more confidence, you can increase size. And with size, you will also eventually make more money, But yeah. It played out pretty perfectly, to be honest, because look what it did, guys. The daily flipped. Tried to flip a bunch of times. It flipped, but never ever we had a candle closing above the red line, and that kept it still, yeah, in a bearish behavior, and we dropped from there. And probably we will keep on dropping to this zone before we see a move higher, or even all the way down. Because still, if you look at the 1 hour, we are dropping. Since this whole week, we are just dropping. The weekly has no top week, The weekly has no top week. The previous daily closed heavily bearish. So, have to be careful, Have to be mindful of how you're taking trades. Yeah, I think we can clear maybe some questions, and if we don't see like volume kicking in now in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll stay maybe for this 15-minute closure, but then we can call it a day, I think. Yeah, this candle was a really bad closure, by the way. This is not a pin bar that you want to see. Strong, like a weak body, You don't want to see a big top wick like that on a bit bullish candle. So, yeah, most likely it can go lower, you never know. Or just range also, whatever. So if you guys have questions, we can go through it really quick. But yeah, are you only trading gold? Yeah, we cleared that already, but you were not here, maybe, Hasni. We're trading pretty much only gold and NAS also, but NAS is secondary. Our main pair is gold, and yeah, but we also look at NAS. I also already said, like, for example, in January I almost only traded gold, NAS, sorry, because gold was really in a really choppy range, and yeah. So yeah, we looked at NAS on the side, but for NAS it didn't retrace at all, I mean, it built up a pretty nice bullish way, but it didn't retrace at all, so there was nothing on NAS, unfortunately, to take. Yeah. Is everyone here mainly trading gold, or what are you guys trading mainly? Yeah. Yeah, I think there's not much movement, to be honest. There is not much movement. Yeah, Joel took my win on GJ. Yeah, amazing, bro. Amazing.
Congrats, man.
Congrats on the win on GJ. Yeah, me and GJ, we were never good friends. We had like a on and off relationship. But whenever I started to trade GJ, I just gave all my profits that I made from gold to GJ. So yeah, don't really like GJ, to be honest. Mostly gold and indices. Yeah, same for us, gold. But we do also look at NAS. Yes, gold may need GU sometimes. Yeah, I think GU moves actually pretty well, but it's a bit too slow, I think, for us. It's a bit too slow, but we used to also trade GU. But yeah, it's a good pair. Respect structure really, really well, GU. So, but as a trend trader, I think NAS and gold are more than enough for you. Like, if you're using supply and demand and you're just trying to go with the higher time frame, I think gold is gold and NAS are perfect. Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, we have a strong closure now on the 5. Hopefully this candle can lead us down to here, and from there we can get the retracement maybe. Yeah, yeah, most likely it will take out this low. I mean, really looks like that. So because this 5 minute now closed below the previous bodies, you know? So yeah. By the way, what we can also do in the future, guys, I think that would be pretty interesting and would keep the stream interactive, you know, and would keep the stream just active in general. If you guys take trades, and let's say you took a trade, you maybe lost, you maybe won, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a trade that you planned and a trade that makes sense, you can send in the link for the trading view. And you know, you can mark up the trade and everything. By the way, let me delete this because we didn't take this cell. Yeah, you can send the trades and we can have a look at them. I think that would be also pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, at this point it's really tough, to be honest. We didn't leave like any inefficiency in this area. Look, like there is no imbalance whatsoever. We filled it all, you know. We just have this tiny inefficiency on the 15 minute. So I don't see this day being anything, you know. I don't think anything great will develop anymore. Yeah. Also, we don't have to take anything, like we said. At the end of the day, let's say there is a guy who takes like 10 trades a week. He loses maybe 6 trades, wins 4 trades, and he has a 1 to 2 risk reward. and with the 6 trades lost, he lost 1 R on, so he's down 6 R but lost 4 trades, so he's up 8 R. So he's up for the week 2 R, you know. Yeah, 6 minus the 8 minus 6, and you end up being up 2 R for the week, which is a great week. But there is no point in taking that many trades if you can do the same with maybe 3 trades, you know. You win, let's say, 1 trade, you have 1 break even and 1 loss, you lose 1 R, and you have 2 R on 1 trade, and on other trade you have like a break even trade, or maybe you secured half at 1-to-1 or whatever. You can be also up 1 R or 2 R, but with less trades, and the less trades you take, the better it is for your psychology, because there is also not only the monetary capital but also the mental capital, you know. So you want to preserve your mental capital as much as you can, because if you lose on your mental capital, I think is much worse than losing real capital, because the mental capital to build up is way harder, I think. That's just my humble opinion, to be honest. But yeah, so that's why we really try to focus on quality setups, because if you lose on the quality setups, it doesn't hurt, you know. It's fine, because there is nothing wrong with losing. By the way, if you expect like 100% win rate kind of thing, yeah, it's the wrong stream anyways, you know, because we will take losses, but we can talk openly about the losses because it's just a part of the game, you know. At the end of the day, it's just about being up at the end of the week, at the end of the month, or even at the end of the year. So if you're making money in the markets consistently, you are a profitable trader, you know. You can have a high win rate, low win rate, low risk reward, high risk reward. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, your P&L shows if you're profitable or not anyways, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can call it for the day. We appreciate all you guys being on the live stream. Leave a like on the live stream if you didn't. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we see you guys hopefully up from tomorrow again, and hopefully we'll keep these live streams consistently, and yeah, share it with your friends, share it with yeah, anybody who trades, whatever, uh, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow hopefully. And yeah, let the journey begin with the live streams, man.
Take care, guys.
Take
Thanks
care,
for the
guys.
support.
Thank you very much. Take care.